What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Here's your boy Evan, your boy Will. We are back under the Tiki Hut, and I think the easiest topic of discussion today is really the NCAA finally paying their players. We saw the lawsuit come out for $2.7 billion payout, which, I mean, goes back to 2016, so that's a lot of players to pay. So I'm not really sure that 2.7 billion is really as much money as that is. Is it really that much money for as many athletes have come since 2016? We're talking about
Right.
NCAA,
Yeah.
period. So 2.7 billion divided by
Thousands?
thousands, tens,
Thousands,
hundreds of
yeah.
thousands, probably.
Hundreds of thousands, yeah.
Right. You're going on 8 years, so relatively, I mean, there's probably about Division 1, 2, and 3. I think we're all just talking Division 1 anyways, but just in generally speaking, I believe there's probably somewhere in the realm of 50,000 athletes. I'd say it's anywhere between there. So, with that regard, 2.7 billion times 8, or divided by 8, I guess I would say, and then divide that by 50. I mean, that's really, I guess you could say a couple, maybe like $700, $800. I don't know. I'm not that good at math.
2.7 billion divided by 8,
Yeah, you could say that.
and then divided by 50?
Yep.
50,000?
50,000. What do we got?
337 million divided by 6.74.
$6.74.
Well, no, that was 1,000. My bad.
So
Times
six.
1,000. So 6,740.
Okay, 6,000. Okay,
That's not bad.
That's about what I expected.
That's not bad.
I was close. I said a
Yeah,
couple
that's not
$100. So, if we're playing
It's good money for
prices,
college.
yeah, for your 4 years, yeah. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
I mean, I guess we'll see how that all pans out. It's a class action, so you had to opt into it anyways. So if you didn't opt into it back then when the lawsuit got brought up, you might not even get any money anyway. So we're just estimating here with regards to that 6,700. But then the caveat to all of that is, I think the more important part of the payout is the actual revenue share opportunity now for the Power 5 schools. Because we're also talking about Power 5 schools. Oh, you're allowed to do 20 million for your student athletes. When we talk about Power 5 schools, 20 million is chump change. That's like one good football season, or at a decent Power 5 school, So it's like when you talk about the Alabamas and the Texas A&Ms that sell out every home game and travel well, and they still earn money off away games because of their ticket allowance. Like, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars just in one sport. We're not talking about if you're a good football, a good basketball, and a good baseball team. You make March Madness, things like that. So for me, like, the 20 million, I think that's going to go I mean, the revenue share, the market price of all of it. I mean, the NFL and the NBA, I mean, the TV deals that are going on now that are about to happen for the NBA, I mean, they're going to set the tone for everybody in the next 5-10 years, with regards to all these new TV deals. So with that, again, the 20 million divided by your whole school, again, how much do you really get? And if you're going to, fortitude it towards one school, does that activate Title IX? Like, oh, the girls' basketball team is better than our boys' football team. Why are our girls not getting more? You know what I'm saying? Like, Title IX is going to come into play with all this. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just going based off of what I know from the industry and as a sports agent.
Right, it's happened before. That's been a topic.
As soon as a football team that sucks and there's a girl sport or something that is really fucking good, that Title IX is going to come into play.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
100%.
And especially it's like Nebraska. Nebraska's volleyball team sold out more, like, as much as the boys football team. And there were, comparison wise, so much better than the football team.
Right.
The Nebraska volleyball team is like one of the best in the country.
Right.
And, Nebraska's gone through 4 head coaches in the last like 3 years. So it's like, do the girls volleyball team deserve more money of that revenue share than the boys football. Even though the boys
for the time being, like if they could do it where it's based on year, if it's based on every year, then you can.
It's per year, 20 million per year.
You could just say like, I guess the idea is to kind of make the athletes seem more like employees. That
well, they're trying to stay away from that word. They're still trying to stay. The NCAA is at least they are.
So then it could be. You get paid based on your performance,
right? And so
like
that's
a regular job. I mean, obviously,
the revenue share is where it's going to get sketchy with the sense of, like, obviously, a football game with an 80,000 stadium, 80,000 person stadium. No matter what other sport you play, you don't have a stadium of that large caliber. Like your basketball team isn't going to sell that much more. Like it's just it's like for that, it's like the comparison is not fair to that extent. Whereas like again, going back to Nebraska, they've had a sellout for every game for both women's volleyball and football, but not because football is that good. It's just because there's nothing else to do in Nebraska on a Saturday morning. Like that's the real like dilemma. So, again, what the rules are going to be for that $20 million revenue share, that's still the key to all of this.
Well, you still got to remember that each school has an NIL collective now too.
Right.
So they're getting money from that. It's not like that's illegal anymore.
Right.
So there's still more ways to be able to kind of spread the wealth.
Right. So
if you want to use that term.
So this is where and this is how I look at it, from the revenue share part to the NIL collectives part. There's two things to it. The NIL collectives are based on per student. The NIL collectives can do or do not with what they want on the topics of who they're paying. Whereas the revenue share, if I'm on the team, you're on the team, we deserve the same. That's where I'm at with the revenue share, because
is that how it is?
I don't know. There's no rule. There's no rule. That's how it should be. That's what I'm saying. My philosophy going in towards the revenue share is that we all earn the same. Like the revenue share, if you give the football team out of that 20 million, you give 8 of it to the football team, you give 3 of it to the basketball team, you give 3 of it to the football or to the baseball team, you give 3 of it to all the other sports. You do that and you spread it around. That's spreading the wealth. Now you take that 8 million that you gave to the football team, and then you divide it evenly for everybody.
Between all what? 50, how many? No,
60.
Have a lot more, right?
It's 90 something.
Is it 90 something?
But scholarship players. Because okay. you got to funnel it into two things. You're going to take the revenue share and you're going to change it so not so that it's straight employee money. It's going to be also going towards your academics. So the revenue share is going into your scholarship funds now, instead of just your scholarships, and then you get your stipend for your food and stuff like that. Now it's going to be this part of your money is going to go to your education, and then the other side is your stipend money, which is going to be a lot more significant now. So with that being said, if I'm the quarterback or if I'm the offensive lineman, like I'm looking at it like I should earn the same as the quarterback. And that's where the NIL comes into play, where the NIL gets to say, well, we want to pay the quarterback more, obviously, because it's a more, showable position. It's one of those things, which is completely fine. That's part of the game. It is what it is. Yeah, it's 100% valid, marketable positionings. It all makes sense. So, but again, with the being able to play, maybe that quarterback doesn't even take money from the revenue share, because it can add to his offensive line or to his wide receiver.
That would be nice.
Because the revenue share can be distributed however the team decides.
Right, but then it's that other thing where it's like, which was a big argument when we were first getting into the NIL and all that, is that a lot of these college kids don't make it to the pros, so they should be entitled to make as much money.
Right, and that's where that's
possible.
Agreed. And that revenue share should be the key to all this, factoring into longevity of playing as a college athlete.
Right, but just because you're a good college quarterback, like you're saying,
it does not always translate.
College, you get all these NIL deals.
Boom.
Because of your college performance, blah blah blah, who you are, you know, you're marketable. You're probably also going to want to take the revenue share too, whatever portion you get, just because maybe you don't pan out in the NFL.
Right,
Or,
right, no doubt.
It's nice that, especially with some of our guys, that they can go overseas now and play football.
Right.
That's a
It's
plus.
huge.
But
who would have thought? I mean, you're looking at it. You're also looking at the opportunities to do something that nobody else has ever had the chance. Like you're going to be a scholarship player, and you could be a second and third stringer, and getting paid, the quality of a first rounder. Whereas like any other league, could be different. I know the NCAA came out. I will have to pull it up. There is a tier operating option. I forgot. It's like the power. It's like based off your last 10.
I saw that.
It's like it's based off your last 10 years or seasons of your total of school. So it's like you see the Alabama.
I think it was 99,000 or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, no. So, but I don't even know if that was.
But they're giving it to each school though.
Right. So I don't know if that's for like with EA Sports, like if that's how they're doing it. Like if they're gonna do it like that, are the schools gonna implement that on the revenue sharing part too?
They
you know
should.
What I mean,
they can do it any way they want, right?
Or I mean, yeah, I guess.
And it starts in 2025.
Right, 2025. So
what? In the summer, it'll kind of reset to get ready for
I'm gonna guess
football?
they'll do a fiscal year, so they'll probably do Q1, Q2, Q3, like regular business operations. But with and that even brings us into a whole nother, I mean, we're talking about a whole nother animal there between getting somebody to financially be able to, who's not taking money or who's taking money off the top. Just it gets a little sketchy with a new that much money every year. It's coming, 20 million. How it's dispersed, make sure it gets to the right teams, the right players. It's a lot going on. So, yeah, I mean, again, between that and kind of easing our way into from the college, sports side is still going into the EA Sports with the new game coming out next month. The opt-ins, opt-outs. You opt in, you get $600, and you get a copy of the video game. It's all right. I mean, it's a solid deal. I mean, you're getting paid to play yourself. Like Wyatt and I, our client at FAU, he's a starting tight end over there, and now he gets to use himself every game, and he just opted in. But and Will and I even had this conversation beforehand. The Archie Mannings of the world, and I mean, again, I think there's probably, what do we say, like 5 or 10 guys that could maybe opt out and be okay, like. But
he's probably one of them.
And Archie is, and we've had the conversation as well as, is the $600 really mean anything to Archie, or does his name, image, and likeness towards being a football player and a marketable football player, does it mean more than that $600 of being in a game? Must be, because he didn't opt in. So for him, it's like, boom, $600 and a copy of the game. Well, I can go buy a copy of the game, and $600 I can go walk into the Raising Cane's and they'll pay me $6,000, so it's like, what am I really getting out of it besides getting to use myself when I can go create my own player anyways, my own dynasty.
Fair.
So.
I mean, it's, if he wants to keep his value or his worth of his NIL.
Yeah, why tone it down?
That's fair.
I mean,
if that's what he wants to do, if you have the leverage to do that, then you can do it any way you want.
Right, and that's where NIL is great, is because it gives you that leverage. Now there is no, I have to do it this way, that way, or the other. Because I mean, even look at the guys who did opt in, the Travis Hunters and the Quinn Ewers. Quinn could have easily done the same exact thing, but then we were joking about it, but like, seriously, who do you put in at quarterback for the Texas roster? You got Archie Manning out. Quinn Ewers doesn't. What do? Do you have to, like, that's not fair to Texas in the game.
Some generated.
Yeah, you can't use the same numbers. You can't use the same, like that. I mean, that was how the whole EA Sports NCAA lawsuit got started in the first place, because it was literally everybody and their mother using the same likeness, look-alike on the game, just no jersey names. So it's like, we're gonna go back to that, and then the lawsuit's gonna start over again, and then Archie's actually gonna win this time because they did.
They can't do it.
They open Pandora's box if they do it. So you have to just literally take them out of the game. So if Quinn Ewers didn't opt in, there goes Texas' entire team, basically.
Yeah.
So, funny enough as it is, literally your two quarterbacks are out because they didn't want to opt in. So that's hilarious to me.
Well, good for Quinn for stepping up to the plate and opting in.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's more of a nostalgia thing, if anything. I feel like
yeah,
it's like
I think I would have done it.
I think everybody from us. I mean, I'm older than you. Even my brother's age group of friends, 35 and under. I feel like 35 and under are probably all gonna play this game. Like we talked about the digital of it, but like if I'm gonna go buy the game, I want the physical copy because this is gonna be the new mecca of the college football world. It's gonna be the new, like, haven't had it, collectible. If you got all the other ones, you got the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and now you got this new brand mecca of a game where it's like all these other copies were the fraud. Now this is like the real deal. Everyone's name is in it. You can use it. You can create your own, and it'll be legit. You'll be playing next to Quinn Ewers, or you'll be using JJ McCarthy's, undefeated team, things like that. And where you go in and you even have a manageable scheduled GPA NIL of your own, where the race to the Heisman or whatever it was back then, like the Heisman road to Heisman, you have that opportunity now to really do it on your own and do it like the Reggie Bush way, I guess you could say, where you actually get paid for what you're doing and win the Heisman.
Right. I think the game is going to be great for college football and maybe college in general, as well as the gaming world. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be playing it for a very long time.
That, yeah.
Obviously, everyone's hoping that it's not like Madden, and I don't know if I'm going to play the game because I don't really game as much as I used to. But
agreed.
But hopefully, it won't be like what I remember Madden being, and it'll be a little bit better, especially for those that play games every day. I'm sure that they don't want to see that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So having a new sports game come back into the mix after, just seeing kind of everyone getting bored of the same 2Ks and Maddens year after year.
Right.
It should be something that's very popular, and I'm sure that they know exactly what they're doing and how this is supposed to play out, and they'll have better information for next year.
Right, and it should
keep getting better.
I was just say there should be no problem getting better every year, especially with regards to the amount of nostalgia and emphasis this game is going to bring for some even former players. Like I guarantee former players in the league and other sports are probably thinking, damn, this is so tight. Why don't we get ours, going? Like, why don't we get our NCAA basketball? Like, something like that. I think that'll all kind of trickle down effect to EA Sports. And EA is probably looking at it like, all right, if this hits, let's make sure we're ready to go for basketball, for March Madness.
Basketball would be great as well.
I mean, that would be huge.
I don't know if they ever had one, if I'm being honest. I don't remember if they had
I believe
basketball, but
something they had something. I don't remember if it was NCAA basketball, but it was something to that extent. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was March Madness or something.
Yeah, NCAA March Madness.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, 1998 until 2009.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, another one that they could bring back now and do it the same. Do it the same way. They call Quentin. He can come in and do all the dunks, just like he does for NBA 2K. So now, I mean, again, I think it'll be huge. I think it'll be opportunistic for EA Sports not to continually develop, and now going into the VR world as well. Like, I feel like it's gonna all just transition into stuff like that. So I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to do that. Start it now, and then you get into VR and you are running around and you are doing it. Then you can literally be yourself if you're like a college athlete. Like that'd be great. Cool. So
that'd be great.
Yeah. So I think with the NCAA and the class action, along with the $20 million revenue share, I think it could be something special these next few years for sure. I mean, yeah, amateurism is dead, but we say that about the Olympics all the time because the Olympics, half of our athletes are professionals now. Like there is no amateurism, and there really. Should there have ever been amateurism? I mean, what other than saying you're an amateur as good as it gets? Like I feel like we've always wanted to see the best of the best go against each other. So why would we lower the standards of the best to just be normal? or the best of normal.
Right.
So
right.
now we get to really
Absolutely
see.
not.
Now we get to see the real, and I think the only backfire of it all is the high school recruiting side of it. I think that's gonna take the biggest hit because it's like if I can go out and find a 2-year quarterback that has 20 something games under his belt, a nice statistics behind him, I'd rather just go pay him through our collective than go find a rookie freshman quarterback to have to come in and learn a new system, stuff like that. So I don't know, there's a lot of underbelly to it that not a lot of people see. So
Yeah, the
um,
high school recruiting landscape is definitely going to change.
yeah, these next 2 years are gonna be
Definitely
a
going
rough
to
one.
change. Well, it's a growing pains.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
in a
good. That's a good
way.
point to it. Yeah,
These
growing
are
pains
these are
for sure.
brand new ideas and that are being implemented.
No doubt.
So needing that 1, 2, 3 years to kind of sort through
For sure. I mean, I feel like
the
that's any business venture in general. Like you need 3 to 5 to really get it set in stone, locked and loaded, ready to go. So, not you nailed it on the head with that one. With regards to you're gonna definitely have some growing pains. Definitely gonna have some bumps and bruises for sure.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean,
Hopefully no lawsuits.
yeah. I mean,
uh-huh.
it's always that's I think that's everyone's number one goal when going through business is no lawsuits. So, um, yeah, and then now we're getting into these finals next week. Are we really going to see double sweeps tonight? Like,
That would be lovely.
I mean,
That would be
really, I
so
mean,
lovely.
Celtics go into Boston, take care of their 2 games, go into Indiana, take care of those 2 games.
Yeah.
And last night, I feel like Boston, not that they weren't trying, but like they had Indiana's number. Even when Indiana's up, I still felt like Boston was just like
Yeah.
not
Well, they were
holding
the
back,
better
but they were just
team.
playing that.
They
They
were
were
the
just
better
playing the way
team.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was expected.
I, mean, I
I
didn't.
do.
I didn't expect a sweep.
Well, it was expected that they were going to win the series, is what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yes. Yes. No. No doubt. No
As
doubt.
far as the sweep goes, I'm sure that you and I have both heard debate about this. It was probably just on the TV for you earlier today. You were watching Pat and all them. Is it more? Is it more the Pacers' fault, the outcome of the series, or is it more on the Celtics side as to the outcome of the series? Like, do the Celtics
Oh,
really
the Celtics had to
take
blow
care
it.
of
Yeah, the
business?
Celtics had to blow in order for Indiana to win. Like they would have had to have blown what
But Indiana could have, and probably should have won at least
one,
two, no, two, maybe three
two.
games, in my opinion.
I'd say,
Last night,
yeah. Last night they,
game one,
yeah, game one for sure. Game
game
one they
one,
lost to the
100%.
like game one.
And even really, I don't know if it was definitely one of two or 2 and 3. Definitely one of those
Definitely
as well.
won when they let Jalen Brown shoot that corner 3 and Siakam like foul him.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
don't
that
even
was
let him
game
go up
3.
for it.
Yeah, that was game 3.
Like
Yeah.
that's not okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not like those comebacks from the Celtics. Yeah, it says a lot about who they are and plays into what you said about the Celtics kind of seem to always have the Pacers number.
Yeah, I mean,
They were the
really,
better team.
I mean,
Though.
100%. They were
I think
100% on paper, on the court. Everything that they did was better. Like they were just the better team. Like it's not even like again, and it's what I meant. Like Boston had to blow it in order for the Pacers to have a chance.
yeah.
Like even even if they would have won game one, I still think the max would have been a 5-game series.
Okay.
Because I still look at it like after watching the couple of games that they did blow, it's like that's a that's a difference of a championship team versus championship hopeful. Right. Like that's
A
those are
contender versus a hopeful, I guess. Yeah.
those games are literally what separate those last 35 seconds of a game is what separates a championship team versus a championship contender. Like championship contender is just there to be
They're
there
there.
trying because they
They're
put in the work.
contending. Yeah,
But a championship team is there because they're that good. Like they can get the job done, which they did last night. So
and they look like they're ready to win the championship.
I mean, what
But
was
the
what's that
Mavericks,
interview with Is it Tatum or is it Jaylen
Oh,
Brown?
Brown, 5 rings.
The 5
They
rings
say,
by
yeah.
5 rings by 30 or whatever.
No, not it's whatever. However old he is now, maybe he
You
was
said you're
30.
supposed to have 5,
This is
right?
whatever it is. This is I know I saw something. This is the last year.
We're going for one, baby. We're going
The
for
last
one.
year.
One more. One
I mean,
more.
obviously, people will be like, "Oh, what is he supposed to say?" But
I mean, agreed, but I get it.
that's
But
so
like,
funny.
even still, like,
Yeah, look, if they don't win this year, it'll be a
I mean, you have to win
it'll
this
be
year.
a big jinx.
You
If
have
they don't,
to win this
if
year.
they don't
Like,
win this year, they're not gonna win for a while. I think this is the
yeah.
last year. They had their chance in what 2022 when they played the Warriors. Is that what happened?
Is that what it was? Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
And then
22.
last year they made it to the finals
Yep.
against or did they?
No, last
Oh,
year.
they didn't. No, the Heat
No,
won.
the Heat
Yeah,
won.
no,
Yeah,
no. What am I
Heat.
saying?
Come
Yeah,
on
that's why
now.
I was trying to think real quick. Yeah, they didn't even make it last year.
Yep.
I don't think they would have beat the Nuggets, but and then this year you have a really strong Mavericks team that has come together at the right time. I think.
Well, didn't Lively just get walked off the court the other night?
Neck injury, but he should be back.
Oh, is he back? Okay.
Even if he's not, the Celtics may or may not have Kristaps Porzingis for some or all of the games.
They say some
and
of the
then
games.
you also still have Daniel Gafford, who is
He's coming into his own right now. He really is. He's come into that rotation very solidly. Like, he has done his job. He's done his job, and that's in the playoffs. That's the biggest thing. You don't try to go out of character of what got you there.
Right.
And I think that's what the Celtics have finally learned this year. Like, the last 2 series, the Celtics have been the Celtics that we all thought they could be. Like, that's, I believe, been the difference of this Celtics team this year. They have not gone out of their way to play other people's positions or help more than they needed. Like, that's where the Celtics, and I think the Mavs as well. That's really looking at this.
Oh yeah.
Has really put into perspective of how good Luka is, how good Kyrie is. Even Derek Jones Jr. has really, I mean,
and PJ Washington and Tim Hardaway Jr.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are playing their role.
All hooping.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, if Celtics and Mavs, which we'll see tonight, if the Mavs can finish it off, because I think Minnesota's coming out swinging, and I mean swinging with bats.
Everybody said that game 2.
I know.
Yeah, Minnesota's coming out swinging. Game 3, yeah.
Yeah, they did, and then
I don't think tonight's gonna be any different.
So
I think the Mavericks win tonight. And we go on to the finals. And when are the finals?
June 6th.
June 6th?
June 6th.
All right, that's fine. Yeah.
So
they both get a week of rest or
basically.
So, and that's it. They'll go at it for last 7-game series of the season. And then.
And my thing is, like, I think that series will go 7 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think the 2 of them, like, those 2 teams, that series goes 7 games. Like, the NBA is going to get all their money's worth.
Yeah, the Celtics need Porzingis, though. For that
series. I know, I agree with you on that.
Because Dallas just has so much height.
Yeah, they are long
and the defense, and they bring a very good defensive game. I don't know if they still are, but I know they were top 3 in defense, like overall defense. I mean, all those at the beginning of the playoffs.
Right.
So we'll see if they can force the Celtics into that thing that they do sometimes, which is why sometimes they suck at closing out games where it's just Tatum and Brown are chucking
do your
shots
job.
They're
yes.
just playing hero ball.
Don't play hero ball. That's it. Let the game play the way it's supposed to be played.
If the Mavericks get them into that type of mode, the Celtics are going to be in trouble. If they keep playing the way that we just said, where they're playing more together,
agreed.
Everyone's involved, not worrying about what they don't have or what they need, the Celtics will be better off.
No doubt.
I think it'll still be a great series nonetheless, and we'll go from there. And we'll be talking in about 2 or 3 weeks or so about what went right and what went wrong.
How that championship run really was.
The two teams involved. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see the Mavericks potentially, go back after 13 years
since Dirk.
Yeah, and then the Celtics, obviously it would be exciting just because that's Boston, city of champions.
I mean,
all that good stuff.
To really take into consideration the amount of work both of these teams have put in on the offseason, because again, I think we just touched on a little bit of Boston really needing this, and it's really Dallas that's like kind of come together so easily, or really, I mean, what, 1 year, a year and a half? Like, Luka I know, was pissed last year with regards to tanking and all that, and he took that personally. But I think he's funneled that hatred and the pissed offness into winning this championship because they did it that way. Hey, we did this for a reason. This is why we did it. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think both of these teams, I don't want to say deserve it. I think they've earned the opportunity to be in this conversation for this year. Um, they really, I mean, again, kind of came together at the right time. Boston as well.
Oh no, absolutely.
Like,
and that's kind of why I like, as much as I wish maybe the Thunder were still in it.
Of course.
I think I like when a team makes a run like the Pacers, even though the Knicks battled some injuries and all that.
Right.
But I like when teams like March Madness. I like when teams make runs. It shakes it up a little bit.
Right.
Nobody, I'm sure you and I, amongst other people, didn't prefer to see the Celtics and the Nuggets, the two teams that everyone kind of thought it was going to be.
Right.
It's nice to see teams come together and make runs, do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of Indy making it. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
me too.
The Pacers making it was, I thought it was great. Like, I had no problem with Indiana going into the Mecca and beating them. I had no issue. I loved that. Like, that, I mean, not to say that they were underdogs or, like, they were underdogs per se, but, like, when you square up, matchups to matchups, like, it was pretty close. I mean, it's not like the Knicks were that much better, but, like, yes, injuries, of course, that's part of the game. You can't cry about it. Like, if that's what happens, that's what happens. It's not Indiana's fault that they get hurt. So it's like if they beat you and your depth on your roster is not deep enough, sorry, like, go cry. Like, I know New Yorkers are a bunch of crybabies.
Knicks had no depth at all.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, for that's the case. Then that's the case. Like, I'm not gonna go ahead and say, oh, well, we got to put an asterisk next to the Pacers because of the injuries. No, that's how the game is played.
Same thing with the Celtics.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at their first series, no Terry, no Jimmy. You go to the second series where they played, I forget. I had it, but I forget. They played.
Oh my God, Toronto. No, oh my God,
not Toronto.
Not Toronto. Oh my God.
Technical difficulties.
Yep, I'm blanking hard right now. This chainsaw in the background's killing me.
Yeah, right.
This is why we got to do it earlier. 2:00 in the afternoon. It's too late. Everyone's doing stuff out here.
Yeah.
Got to be here by 12 from now on.
Oh, they played the Cavs. Sorry, I guess that's why we forgot.
Yes, because they fucking. That's right. I forgot.
Small market, yeah. And then they had no Donovan Mitchell for 2 games.
Yep.
And then we go on, and they play the Pacers with no Halliburton.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, again, part of the game.
Were they supposed to get to the finals? Yeah. So
of course.
Whatever.
Yeah, they should have done it either way.
Yeah, I think it would have been nicer to see full strength teams, but like you said, you just can't get that at the snap of a finger.
That, and it's playoff time. Everybody's hurt, but how hurt are you? That's the real thing. Is like, everybody's banged up. It's an 82 game season. It's football. It's a 16 game season. It's a lot of that stuff. Like, it puts a beating on you no matter what sport you play. Like, it's a lot of games. It's a lot of stuff. The biggest thing is just staying healthy enough to stay in the game
and consistent.
Of course.
Obviously you said staying healthy. Yeah, that's number one. Or staying, like you said, kind of as healthy as possible.
Right.
To kind of have a level of consistency to bring yourself through the playoffs. Kind of like with Luka, he's obviously hurt.
Right.
But he's gonna keep playing. And I hope that he can play at the level that he's been playing, even with the injuries, and that something worse happens.
Right.
I hope nothing worse happens, so that way we can have a good series.
If one of them goes down in that championship series, that's where I'll get pissed. Like, because I don't want to see injuries during those types of series. Like, throughout the playoffs, injuries happen. But when we get to the championship, you have a week off, you have a few days off, whatever it may be. Get as healthy as you possibly can to a point where you don't have to worry about getting hurt anymore, or the injuries that you have is seduced. Like, it's taken to a point where it's not going to hurt you that much.
Right.
So, and obviously they have some of the best trainers in the world. So, yes. So that's what you're hoping for. You know, again, for those are the biggest factors of playoffs, injuries, staying healthy towards that extent. It's like not necessarily that I need to be 100%, but I need to be 83% with my nagging injury on a pain management tolerance, where I'm like, if I feel it in the fourth quarter, I'll take my break towards the 6 minutes versus the 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that way I can come back and only have to play 4 minutes. So things like that, you know, pain management, you know, that's all huge. I know we talk about it in the regular season, or you know, load management in the regular season, but it's pain management in the playoff season. It's like load management, sure, whatever. You know, you don't want to play all 82 games, you're gonna miss your bonuses, whatever. Get into the playoffs, you're banged up, you got issues. Now it's about pain management. How bad is that pain? So those are the main things, you know.
And how bad do you want to win?
Well, yeah, that too. And I know Luka, he's there to win. So he'll play injured, he'll play hurt, he'll play until the ball has to shoot out of his left hand. Like, or even go Kobe and just literally shoot it out of his left hand. So, you know, things like that, it's, you know, it's what makes sports great in general too, though. The storylines, how you got there, why you got there, should you have been there, you know, always, you know, needs to be a bad guy, needs to be you know, the villain arch of somebody's story. I think they've already, you know, done that with Kyrie, now with Boston in the picture.
Oh yeah,
know,
that's gonna be tremendous.
You know, it's hilarious. So it's like, for me, it's like comedy, like the
they're gonna let him have it.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, that and Kyrie's gonna let them have it too. I mean, Kyrie was not taking their shit laying down. So I think that'll be one of the better series we've had in a while. In the championship series. Yeah, I mean, again, it'll be. I think it'll go all seven for that series. I mean, obviously, Mavs still have to win tonight. You know, you never say no. You can never count a dog out. You know, fat lady's got to sing first. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening tonight. I think, again, you know, with regards to the playoff picture, I think this is the perfect segue for the NBA because of the new TV deal coming. I saw some of the estimated numbers and values. I mean,
it's a lot.
Just mind blowing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, we can talk about that when those numbers really legitimately come out, between the Amazon and the CBS, the cable television, the Peacocks, all that streamers. HBO Max got a piece of it. And I mean,
poor TNT.
Oh, hey, Shaq, Charles, you guys can come sit with us any day. Shaq, I know you're in Fort Lauderdale. Come on down to Boca. Ernie, come hang out with your boys, Ernie. So, we can have an NBA in Delray all day. That sounds good to me.
Inside the NBA Delray Beach edition.
That's what I'm saying. So
I'll be lovely.
So yeah, I mean, again, I think segueing into next week, the last episode before I go to Europe. So try and get Wyatt come in next week, talk about spring football, a little bit about how I take that back. I was going to say, I think NCAA comes out next week, but I think it's the end of the month. I think it's the 23rd, I want to say.
I thought it was in July.
Is it July? Or was this, did they just say that it's announced, like the something was announced?
July 16th.
That's my birthday. Holla at your boy. EA Sports.
Great birthday present.
I was going to say, EA Sports, you can send your boy a nice copy of that.
Maybe they'll put you in the game as an agent.
Hey, that would be sick. NIL agents, think about it. I'll go toe-to-toe with Rosenhaus and NIL.
It's a great idea. And then we have Vegas coming up as well.
Vegas for Summer League. Gonna do a little business, a little pleasure. It is my big 3-0, so we'll be out there for a little celebration, but also going to work as well, trying to get some workouts in, shake some hands, kiss some babies, the usual stuff. Got to stay facey in this industry, especially being the young guy with no large scale agency behind us. It's all of us, recognizing faces. Hey, that's the assistant GM of the Suns. That's the assistant GM of the Knicks. Things like that. It's all about shaking hands, kissing babies, and making sure they know who you are as much as you know who they are. So that's a little side note for all you business. Yeah, networking. That's a little side note for all all you sports guys out there when it comes to the sports world and industry.
It is as important as they say it is.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean between that and not only that, but also it's not. This industry isn't about what you know half the time. It's literally about who you know.
Right.
So you can know all the stats and analytics and stuff like that as much as you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't know the right people, you might not even get your foot in the door.
Right.
So things like this is the reasons why we go to the events like this. So it should be a good time. I think between those two events, I'll try to get us. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do the win. I'd like to do a recording at the win of the episode with everybody with us. Christian, gonna see about Denver coming, stuff like that. Get him a workout at Impact and everything, and see what we can do there. That way we can have some bodies, some LSE bodies around us with regards to players and things like that. I know Eddie's gonna be out there and stuff, so try and get them some work and get some shoot around going. Let Eddie get some work in with Denver probably because they're both going to go to the draft next year. See what happens there. But yeah, so we will sign off for now. It's great seeing you guys again, and we look forward to having you back next week. This is Evan. This is Will. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.